Hi everybody, it's Sam.
And Phil, good afternoon.
From Ashdown Jones. We normally do a weather check.
I know, we're in a different room.
Bit echoey as well, I'm sure, and I'm sorry for
I can do a morning weather check.
Well, I can just look out the window and go, yeah, it's raining. Anyway,
It was dark this morning.
Wasn't it? I know it was, yeah. Somebody said
Really dark.
it was going to start getting lighter.
Next Tuesday.
Oh, is it? Okay, next Tuesday it's
If
actually
you're wondering
lighter.
why Sam's looking really pale, I've been away, so I'm quite tanned.
I'll stand a bit close to the camera.
So we're going to turn the lights off.
Quickest spray in the town. Let's talk about buyers and buyer communication. So something we get asked a lot by people who are selling their lovely homes is, how do you know who the buyer's going to be? How do you communicate with the buyers? Sometimes when a house has been on the market for a long time and not sold, obviously not with Ashdown Jones, then quite often you might think, well, was it a buyer communication issue? Was it that you didn't get it over the line? In fact, we had this conversation just the other day where the guy that was selling was blaming his solicitor because the buyer was dragging his feet, the solicitor wasn't pushing the buyer along, and all of a sudden it all just collapsed and didn't go ahead. And so buyer communication is really, really important.
We get asked a lot when we go out to see homeowners, or get told a lot that they don't want time wasters, and how we make sure the viewers we show the buyers we show aren't time wasters.
Yeah,
and
especially for the very big houses, because they might think that actually it's just a tyre kick or something that's looking, what's look around a celebrity home.
It can be hard sometimes to work out what a time waster is, who a time waster is and who a time waster isn't, because they could tell us how much they love the house, get there, and quickly realise they don't.
In fact, we had an incident recently where somebody from the office, somebody from our team had shown a home, and he'd said to us, I don't think that person was serious, I think he was just there to get design ideas. And Phil had talked to this gentleman quite a few times, this buyer, and you thought he was absolutely coachy, didn't you?
Yeah.
He didn't go ahead and buy it, and his house was beautiful. But we're not necessarily saying that he wasn't interested in the house. Sometimes it's not for us to make that judgment. We'll make as much of a judgment as we can, but ultimately you can't tell who's going to buy a house. You can have the scruffiest, poorest looking person with plenty of millions to spend on your lovely home, or somebody who says they've got the money and actually hasn't.
But what we can do is ask the right questions, and if it's clear to us or clear to the team that that buyer isn't right for that particular house, or if the same feedback has been coming up with the same viewers and road noise keeps coming up, for example, and the buyer is certain that they don't want any road noise and they still want to view, then there's a conversation that we can have that maybe isn't the right fit for them.
And it's actually the other way around as well, like on Kirsty and Phil.
I need a Kirsty.
On the Sam and Phil show, no, the Kirsty and Phil show, is it called Location, where they go and have a look at three houses, and then there's always a wild card, and they always flip in by the wild card. The one that they said they would never buy, like I have to have 5 bedrooms, oh, this 2 bedrooms gorgeous. So you just don't know. People, and also buyers just don't know, do they? No. You bought a house fairly recently, and you were not treated like the VIP buyer you were. Fair to say, isn't it? The communication is terrible.
I think I am.
Yeah, you think you are. Yeah, and hopefully your that estate agent hopefully thought you were as well. Anyway, let's go back to all the main questions we need to know about your buyer. So firstly, who the buyer is, and we use a little mnemonic. I think we've got a mnemonic. Couldn't spell it.
It's new to me, but go with it.
Ford. F-O-R-D, which is family, occupation, recreation and dreams. What do we know about that buyer? How do we find out what's their real motivation? Why are they moving to the beautiful Lake District? Why do they want a second home? What's their family situation? Are they moving from abroad? And do they used to live here? Or quite often we find people are buying here when they've been coming here all their lives, and it's their dream to own a holiday home in the Lake District.
And once we find out as much as we possibly can about the buyer and create rapport and find out about their circumstances, they feel more comfortable communicating with us or the team we've spoken with, and therefore we can take them to a different sort of communication. So a lot of buyers now find text easier or WhatsApp easier. I don't think I found anyone like Snapchat easier, but you never know. We're there.
They're not communicating in my circles. TikTok.
So it's important to move them onto a platform that they feel most comfortable. Yeah. Email's a bit formal for us.
It's a bit in 1999, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think you always feel like you've got to write a load of stuff in an email. It's got to be
and the language is formal.
Yeah, it is. So quite often our team, particularly Hannah's very good at this, she'll get people off email on to say WhatsApp And then they feel a bit more comfortable communicating in that way, and it feels like a bit more of a really strong relationship that you can build on to create an offer or an opportunity.
Yeah, where they're most likely to give you information that's going to help sell the house.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, another how, by the way, especially at the moment, is FaceTime viewing. So we do a lot of FaceTime viewings. We might do a second viewing on FaceTime if they're not able to travel again. Or there might be just a time that Maria needed to go and do a quick FaceTime viewing because a buyer of a house, a viewer, had driven into the driveway and not noticed the driveway at all. And she said, I can't remember the driveway, can you go and do a FaceTime viewing from the driveway? And so she did. Because they just needed a refresher.
Which can be a challenge in the nights for signal, I'm sure you.
Yeah. But it's important for the buyers, and that's one of the communication methods we use.
Yeah.
When do we communicate? Well, as often as possible. What we don't want is your buyer to go cold. In fact, as soon as the buyer does go cold, they probably don't want your house. And that's hard, I know, but if we can keep the communication going, they are very likely to be interested in your house. If they cut off communication, they're probably not.
What do you mean by what?
What we're going to send them, what we're going to communicate with them, what's the messages, what's the updates. I wrote these.
Yeah. The important thing with both sides of our clients and with buyers is at every stage they understand what's happening. So no news is news. If the buyer wants time to think about it, that is news for our clients.
Yeah.
If the clients want time to think about it, that is still news for the buyer. So it's keeping every side updated to the best of our ability and making sure everyone feels comfortable and understanding of what's going on all the time.
They feel, understandably, frustrated and anxious if they don't hear from us. Especially if they've left us, messages and they haven't heard back straight away. Their need to buy that home isn't just 9 to 5, it's beyond 9 to 5, which is why we do WhatsApp and other communication methods afterwards. But they need updates, they need to be informed, they need to know what's going on all the time, because it makes them feel reassured and relaxed about and confident about their buying decision. Why? Why do we do all this?
Why do we do all this? I'm not sure.
To get you the best price for your house. That is the point, isn't it? And to get you the smoothest, most enjoyable moving experience we possibly can. You're moving on with your lives, they're moving on with their lives. We're the conduit, we're the bridge between the two.
And by doing this, it makes our team's job a lot easier.
Yeah.
They're having easier conversations, they're making better relationships with...
Making better decisions.
Yeah. If something happens that is a potential challenge, it's easier to overcome if you've got a better relationship with someone, easier to have a conversation that may be difficult.
Yes, definitely. And we have quite a few of those.
It makes the whole experience of buying and selling more comfortable.
So if you currently have your home in the market, or you're considering putting your home in the market,
Or you know someone.
or you know somebody who is thinking about buying, selling or moving in the next year or so.
I've said that before.
Thank you. Well, we will be very consistent. We would love to have a chat, a completely confidential chat about how we would identify your buyers, how we communicate with them, and any other concerns that you have. Just give one of us a call here, or any of our amazing team, our world-class team here at Ashdown Jones, 015 394 88811. I was good, I know. I've practiced, I've done 150 of these, and I finally got our telephone number nailed.
Next Wednesday is our last Ask AJ Before Christmas, the Christmas special. So any particular questions you want answering?
You're going to wear like a whole elf outfit? I think you should.
No.
But more people will watch if you do. I think you should. So vote here if you think that Phil should wear an elf costume next Wednesday, and if we get more than one vote, we'll go for it.
Sam's wearing a Christmas decoration around the neck today. We're not quite sure what it is. I don't think Sam's either, but
that's because one of us is very stylish. And I hope you've enjoyed watching this. We'll see you next week for the Christmas special. I can't wait to hear what that's going to be about. Bye for now.